what I believe to be the finest 1974 Indian left in the United States. This one is 100% original, right down to the tires, the seat cover, the paint, everything on it. 530 miles on the odometer. Bought this from a collector out in the Midwest who had 9 of these. For a few years, have been communicating back and forth. He had one Indian and the rest were Armakis. See these three Harley Davidsons over here? Just to give you an idea of the quality of the collection this guy kept. Just do a quick pass by of these 3 right here, which are also some of the finest I've seen in their categories. And the common denominator is all his bikes had really low miles on them. They're just unbelievable. This one has 497 miles on it, and they're all pristine. So back to this one here. That's the one we're focusing on right now. Look at the seat cover on this thing, man. Original factory. This is a 50-year-old Enduro. Has the Indian logo on the fuel tank. If you're an Indian collector or an Indian aficionado, or you have an Indian dealership, or if you have a motorcycle museum like we do here, this is an awesome addition to the collection. Original tires are still in good condition. They're not dry rotted. He kept them in a climate-controlled garage up off the ground, up on wood, on a pallet rack actually with wood. And they just really preserved this thing beautifully. Let me give you a quick riding demo on it. Listen to this thing, it burns like a kitten. Everything works on the bike beautifully. The headlight, the tail light, the turn signals, everything works just like brand new, because it is basically a time capsule. This thing literally feels like a brand new motorcycle. It's tight as a tiger. Engine compression is 150 psi, which is absolutely perfect. Hallmark of a well-preserved motorcycle. Because it's basically brand new with 500 street-only miles on it, the clutch, the transmission, everything performs exactly like it did brand new. It really is a time machine to hop on something like this. And most of these are ridden into the ground because they're so fun to ride. To find one like this is unobtainium. Once a cucumber is turned into a pickle, there's really no coming back, you know. So take one that's worn out, beat up, and trying to turn it into this is nearly impossible. It might look as good, but it'll never feel as good because everything on all the metals are still factory fresh on this thing. Transmission, top end, everything's baked on it. So 531 miles on it now. This is one of those rides the test ride's going a little longer than usual because I'm having fun. I'm riding mini Enduros. absolutely the best one I've ever ridden. And when we got it, obviously it looked like this, but it had been sitting in his collection for some time. So we did a full, what I like to call a preservation service on it. It's not a restoration because it didn't need one. But we start with the fuel tank. We take the fuel tank off, and the inside is washed out with some special tank cleaners that we use here. And the petcock is gone through and tested, and the fuel lines were replaced. Then they take the carburetor off and the air box and clean out the air box and make sure the air filter is intact and in good condition. The carb was dismantled, put in our carb cleaning tank, cleaned, reassembled, rebuilt, and tuned on the bike. New spark plug. They changed the gear lube, of course, and then go through the all the electrical on it, make sure everything's 100%, and it is. Everything works. The horn, turn signals, lights, rear brake light, everything is done on it. So they also went through and took the clutch and brake lever off and greased the pivots and lubricated all the cables on it, including the throttle housing was done also. Came from the factory with the Magura throttle on there. The tires, these are the original tires, original seat foam. On any 50-year-old motorcycle becomes quite depressed and gets hard. So one of the reasons I was really enjoying the ride on this thing is how comfy it is. I'm 6'2", but with the tall bars, and it's a nice upright riding position. Perfect bike for like a mid-Ohio or a Daytona event where there's a lot of traffic and you're just putting around, checking out all the scenes, or at the racetrack. This seat is super comfortable. We actually replaced the foam on it. That's the one item on the bike that's not original. It's a seat foam. Something I told Andrew, I said, whoever gets this, if they're going to want to ride it, the original seat was hard as a brick. So this has original seat cover, but we did replace the foam on it. Of course, the original chain was lubed. Everything was gone through on the bike, top to bottom. So we'll have a full work order on it in the eBay ad, because it is going to be sold. So if you have any questions about it, call us 860-454-7024. We can finance this for you. We do take trades, and we can ship it anywhere in the world. You'd be really, really, really hard pressed to find one finer than this. I love the color of this, the silver. I've always been really attracted to these Indian bikes because when I was a kid, I just thought they were really cool. And you know, when this bike came out, I was 9 years old. We had just moved to Rockville here, and you didn't see a lot of these around, but when you did, they're definitely a unique, cool bike. They make even a couple different models. They make a little tiny 50, which is highly coveted, and they had a whole lineup of these, and it's just a really cool classic. I don't think I mentioned, this is a 100cc. They didn't make a 125, and for a 100, I'm going to say it punches outside of its weight class, because this hill you can't see it on the camera, but it's pretty steep, and I was shifting coming up here over the top of this hill, and it just cruises 40 miles an hour, 45 miles an hour in fifth gear with very little stress on the engine. The two-strokes generally have about as much power as a four-stroke of twice the cc, so like it probably puts down horsepower similar to like an XR 200 or something like that, to compare it with something in the four-stroke category. The fenders on this are actually steel. Tank is steel. Front fender steel, and of course the turn signals normally all the ones I've seen, the turn signals are missing on them. The taillight's messed up. In fact, we have one that we just got in. The other one, we should probably. Where's the other one we have? Is it down in detail?
No, it's in third floor waiting to be.
Third floor waiting to get done. I almost want to show it to them so they can see what most of these look like. We probably should take a walk over. Want to go show it to them?
Sure.
All right. Guys, so I wanted to show you this one. We're on the third floor of the New England Motorcycle Museum. If you look down both rows, you'll see there's hundreds of motorcycles in here. This is one of 4 floors, and we've sold over 10,000 classics since we got here, and there's always hundreds of bikes on display. But this is not uncommon. What one will come in. This is a 50-year-old trail bike that was sitting in a shed for the last 30. Seats collapsed, needs a total restoration. Most of the chrome on the shock is gone. The chrome on the handlebars is gone. It's going to need new fork tubes, and we'll restore this. But by the time we're done, you're going to have somewhere between a 60 and 80-hour work order to repaint and do every single surface on this bike. And most shops bill out at around here 120 to 150 for the small shops, and all the big shops like the Harley shops charging 200 an hour. So if you're going to restore one to that condition, can it be done? Yes. But the bottom line is it's going to cost a whole lot of money. So that's why when you have a 50-year-old classic like that that's in brand new condition with 500 miles on it, well, it's kind of priceless. Back to a mint original Survivor. As a collector, as the owner of the New England Motorcycle Museum, as a judge who I've judged at multiple motorcycle shows all over the East Coast, well, we prefer an original paint bike. Why? Because if it has original paint, you know if the tank's been dented, you know if it's been destroyed, you know if it's been, run through mud and water and trashed or in an accident. So because the paint reveals the truth, this one is never been crashed or smashed, and I don't think it's ever been ridden off-road. It's just the apple of the owner's eye and maintained in brand new condition. And then ultimately, when he passed away, a collector bought it and had it in his collection. So 50 years old this July. It's over 50 years old. So if you're looking for a better one, you'd have to find one in a crate. And I believe it's better to run them annually so all the seals and gaskets and everything don't dry out on them, and enjoy it a little bit. Take it out, take it for a 5. I had a blast riding it around this morning. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Show them the license plate, Ronnie. It has the original 1974 Michigan license plate. That's where the bike came from Michigan. 1974 Indian ME100. The VIN number is 0555. One of the first 600 of them that were made. I don't know what the production stats were exactly, but there weren't a lot of them. So again, the engine compression tests it at a perfect 150 psi. It has a new NGK B8 spark plug. We did, of course, adjust the chain, air up the tires, remove the ignition cover, and cleaned the ignition, set the points, changed the gear lube, went through the air box, put a new foam air filter in it, clean, set, dipped, adjusted, and tuned the carb, flushed out the tank in the parts cleaner, and has VP94 ethanol-free fuel in it. Removed the petcock and cleaned it, and of course new fuel and vent lines. Kind of went over some of this already. Removed the oil pump cover, checked and bled the oil pump. That works perfectly. Oh, I forgot to mention, we also removed the entire clutch side of the engine, the clutch cover and the clutch basket, disassembled it, cleaned and sanded the steel plates and reassembled everything so it wouldn't be sticky. Sometimes when clutches sit for 50 years, you got to go through and service them, so that was done. So just a beautiful piece. New battery. That's all it needed, guys. Not much. And I went through the detail shop for a full rotisserie detail, basically from the bottom of the bike to the top. Oh, we always show the frame rails too. Let's show them the bottom of the engine also. That's always proof. Look at this. Look at this. This is called the bash pan right here, the case protector. There's not a single ding on it. Not a single ding in the frame. The pegs, see where it says Indian on the front? You see where, zoom in on the front of the peg here? Where it says Indian. Still got the Indian logo on the peg. Usually that kind of stuff is long gone. Engine case covers look freshly painted. The cylinder head's nice and crisp. The cylinder jug paint looks brand new on it. As does the chain guide and swing arm. And just an absolute mint original Survivor. If you have any questions about it, give us a call, 860-454-7024. We do finance motorcycles. We could finance this for you. It'd be a better investment than any new bike because it's only going up in value. And we do take trades, so good luck finding a nicer one. I've never seen a nicer one than this. Thanks for watching, and God bless America.